and welcome to another In the Data Governance Coach video series. And today I want to answer the question of what is a data contract? And more importantly, what has it got to do with data governance? So I think that as with many data management jargon and terms, it's something that's been increasingly used. I see it on the internet quite a lot these days. And I'm not always convinced that the people who are using it fully understand what it is. And to be fair, I probably didn't fully understand what it was when I first started seeing the term. So I've done a lot of digging into it. And obviously over the years, I've come to understand what they are. But I thought it would be a really good thing to explain because I really do think that as data governance people, we often come from a business background into this role. And we're not we're trying to get our heads around loads of new jargon when we're doing our role. So what is a data contract? Well, really, it's like any other contract, but somebody came up with the idea, wouldn't it be good to actually document what we want? So the consumer of the data, whether that's a system or, to be honest, a real person, gets to say what they want from that data. So that can be some very technical information, including, where we want the data to go to, perhaps exactly on a database where it's going into, any transformations we want, some technical metadata or, descriptions of how that data must be. But I also think that we have some other things like, how often we want the data. So the frequency of it, who can access that data, who can use it. And then I think we have the things that perhaps from data governance people point of view, we are much more likely to be interested in. A contract should also include, details of what that data really is. So that feels like data definitions to me, and some accountability. So who the data owner and data steward are for that data, and probably also some quality requirements. So what makes this data good enough? Now, clearly, we're not going to have contracts for everything. One thing I really see them building up on is in the use of data products, because data products are by their very nature designed for the perfect data set, not perfect, but, an ideal data set pulled together that can be used for multiple purposes across an organization. And if we're trying to go down this reuse point of view, then I think it's absolutely right that we have a data contract in place. So as you can see, I think an element of a data contract is, or a number of elements are, data governance. But you probably were thinking from the way I described it that actually not everything in it is data governance. I mean, we tend not to be techie people, me definitely not. I know some technical people come to the data governance role, but there's going to be a lot more technical information there. So I think it's not always clear who is responsible for ensuring that data contracts are put in place. And I think that's probably something down to you to talk to in your organization. It could well be data architects. It could be perhaps part of a change gateways or protocols that you have in your organization. But I think what is important is that you identify when this is needed. We can't do it for all data. We'll be back where we were with, data governance. We can't put data governance over all data. But what's key is this data can be reused a lot of places, in which case, let's make sure that we put a data contract in place. And it'd be really useful to come up with a simple template for use in your organization. But you're going to need a number of different teams to input into that. Now, I always find in my experience, if something involves a number of different data teams or IT and business people, then data governance often ends up being the place that coordinates it, because by the very nature of our role, we tend to talk to all these other teams. We talk extensively to the business stakeholders. So it wouldn't surprise me as a data governance lead, you get asked to do this, particularly if you're the one raising it in the first place. But I think these can be very valuable as long as we don't make them onerous and we don't try to do them for everything. We just identify the right use cases where they will prove valuable. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, help me, please, on my mission to help as many people as possible be successful with data governance, and like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, please. All this really helps me get the message out there and help the people who are probably feeling like I did when I first started doing data governance, are very lonely, vulnerable, and just thinking they're doing everything wrong. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's just that data governance can be challenging, and it's something that we all have to face. So please help me help more people and share that. And don't forget, if you have a question you would like covered in a future video, please just email it in to questions@nicolaaskham.com.